morning. Just loaded here in Wendell, British Columbia. Head over Kootenay Pass and deliver this load to Fruitvale. Never met another rig coming down this hill while I'm going up it, but it's steep. And this road is bumpy too. I don't have to tarp this load either, that was nice.
Continue 300 meters to the end of the street, then turn right.
I know how to do this climb once when it was slippery. And I had everything locked up and I was just spinning away. And I did not stop at the stop sign. I was crawling at a slow creep. I'm like, if I stop, I'm not making it. No automatic. Let's go to manual mode. I am not starting in first gear manual. I'm starting in low. Starting in first gear automatic.
Turn right on Highway 3A.
This is the gear I wanted to start in. A little dusty out here, which is a good thing. It means the roads are dry. I see you coming, car.
Kilometers. Turn
And
right
dump
on
truck.
Highway 3.
But I'm a total loaded Super Bee. Doesn't matter how fast you come around that corner, you're gonna be behind me up this hill. You can do it. definitely a big steep climb out of Wendell. Not much exciting happened today yet. I'm okay with that. I should turn the heat off. It's been cold all day, like -10 in the morning. So, yeah, it's -7 now. But now that I'm driving, I'm going to get some heat, especially climbing a hill like this with a full load. So in the morning I unloaded in Creston, slept right in the yard. Got up in the morning, untarped, unloaded, and got sent up here. That's 7 to 8 kilometers north of Creston to Wendell. Get a load out of here and go over Kootenay Pass. One of those short runs that's not worth a lot of money because of how much work they are. At least I didn't have to tarp it. And when I mean so much work they are, it's like it's a lot of climbing. About almost exactly half the time you're climbing at a quarter of the speed. So not a lot of money because your miles, you get paid by the mile, and the miles I'm running are very slow miles. And not just the miles going up, you have to go slow. Most of the miles going down, you have to do slow too, or else you'll be a runaway. And I'm truck 1 out of 2. It's a 2-truck load, which means I'm heavy, right to the max. Shuffle stuff around to get as much weight on as possible. Second truck is always a little bit lighter. Makes sense, just in case you try to get a little bit over half the load on the first truck. Just at the bottom of that valley. Now we're way up here. It's a lot of climbing to do in such a short period of time. Dispatch sent me an email with a wide load permit, so I can only assume that I'm loading in Fruitvale. Wide load of veneer going to Kamloops. That'd be my guess. Doesn't mean that's what's going to happen, but that's what I'm predicting. Don't see why else I would have a wide load permit sent to me. I didn't need it sent to me, but it's kind of nice having it on top of the emails, because it's still the same permit I had last time I had a wide load. Excuse me. be turning out of the sun here in just a minute, driving through marshlands of Preston here. Excuse me. Not sure where that came from, sorry about that. Drink some water. Couple of trucks parked behind the hotel there. Awesome that they provide a parking area for truckers.
Continue on
free parking. You don't have to stay in the hotel or go to a restaurant. You can just park there and leave, which makes you want to go spend money. It's like, what, you don't require me to do anything? Well, now I want to thank you by going to the restaurant. I guess there's some farmland here before the marshland. Slippery section, Kootenay Pass, 20-minute delays, which means they're doing some kind of avalanche, well, maybe not avalanche. Avalanche control would be longer delays. They're probably just cleaning up the road. So they probably have a big front end loader that is picking up snow on the cliff side and turning around and dropping it off the other side. I guess both sides are cliff sides, but basically after the summit, the road gets really narrow because there's nowhere to push the snow because the road's right next to the cliff. So on the right hand side the cliff goes straight up, on the left hand side it goes straight down. So they're going to take a front end loader and move the snow from the right hand side to the left hand side, push it over the edge. And that's probably what the 20-minute delays are. Time to relax for a little bit of relaxing time. I didn't find Kootenay Pass too slippery yesterday at all. I always find these mountains so beautiful. Fun taking this road northbound again. What is that out there? This is open. There's elk? Holy smokes, there's got to be like 100 elk over there. Rewind the video a bit and look at all the little dots on the field on the right hand side. That's got to be 100 elk out there. Pretty far off from the road, so they might just look like little dots, but got a whole herd of elk. Summer, there's a lot of birds. Such a bumpy bridge. That's not a safe place to stop on a corner. All right, let the climbing begin. So I have been told that my Kenworth W990 has been ordered. It's my understanding. I won't believe anything until I see it. Delays. Why couldn't it be a half-hour delay? That way, if I pull up, they close the road, I can go off duty, take a 30-minute break, walk around, stretch my legs, come back, boogie in half an hour. Perfect timing too for lunch, I think. Well, maybe that'd be a little early for lunch, but no harm in having lunch half an hour early. Yeah, maybe it'd be an hour early, but that's okay. A lot of trees up here. A lot of trees. No big, huge trees. Makes me wonder if this has been forested many years ago and this is all newer growth. Or is this the type of environment where the trees just don't get big? I think it'll be four-way flasher season the rest of the way to the top. I'll show you guys my load at the top. Nice load, not tarped. Gonna try to make a habit of showing you my load more often, just so you guys know what I'm hauling. Most of the time it'll be a boring, nothing exciting to see, but I think it's time for a haircut this weekend too. I think the weather's starting to get a little warmer. Thinking maybe Sunday I'll pull out the clippers and trim everything down nice and short. I know there's still lots of winter left, but I'm just getting too wild looking. Definitely looking pretty wild. Not that I could care less what people think of me when they see me. I don't know, I think I've gotten past that age where I care what people think about me. I mean, we all care what people think of us, but to a certain extent, right? As far as my looks go, I couldn't care less. Maybe if this drying out trend continues, I'll be able to do some more camera angle views. Because I can't really put a camera outside of the truck. If the roads are wet, it's just going to be a matter of seconds before the lens is plastered with muck. But if these roads keep drying out like this, I think I might be able to do the reverse facing camera on if I have a load that's low enough that we can see over the top. But I'm excited about the new truck. I'm going to buy a bunch of GoPro mounts and I'll stick them quite a few places. You guys will get some new camera angles. I'm quite excited about this. Those GoPro mounts are not cheap either. I'm not buying the cheap knockoffs on eBay. Maybe for inside the cab, sure, the knockoffs will be fine if the camera all of a sudden falls off. No big deal, but outside, I'd like to keep my $700 camera mounted. Let's make sure the camera, when it's outside, it's secure. I thought so. I'm like, sure he's gonna pass me. It's just a single trailer. He was pulling out of the hotel down there in Creston. There's another truck behind us as well that wants to pass us, but he is smart enough to know that he wouldn't get past me before the passing lane ends. So, and he also knows there's more passing lanes. I think it's an empty logging truck, so I should turn my radio on just in case he's trying to communicate with me. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, there's a straightaway here. If he's empty, he's probably gonna go. I know I would. Yeah, it's a Setco too. Cool. Yeah, lots of room. I like it. Didn't push the passing lane, waited till there was a straightaway, passed in a nice safe way. I always appreciate when people do that. Turn that radio back off. I'll see you guys at the top of the hill after I've done my brake check. Looks like there's a few people out here doing cross-country skiing. That's what my load looks like. I'm gonna go grab myself some lunch. While we wait up here. Unfortunately, I'm right at the front of the line, which means longer wait. 20 minutes isn't too bad. 20 minutes isn't too bad. Rolling. Such a beautiful day. I'm just loving all this sun. It's just nice. Took 45 minutes sitting there, so a 20-minute road closure was a little more than double. Traffic controller said that they pulled too much snow down, too much all of a sudden came down, and it took them a while longer to clear the road. So here you see the avalanche, the snow that came down from on the top there. Avalanche down here, and they've been clearing this section right here out. Like I said, moving it from the right side to the left side, just pushing the snow off the side of the cliff. This compact snow on the very right side there makes this little edge and keeps pushing me into the center of the road. Very awkward feeling. If the brim gets a little too big, I've had places where it punches you like half a lane over. If I had known it was 45 minutes, maybe it would have been worth taking the ferry. But then again, if we had known it was 45 minutes, everybody would have probably gone to the ferry and made several sailings wait. Funny, these four-wheelers are going slower than I am. Let's go a lower gear then. They've closed it already again. They get the joys of waiting another 20 minutes. Hopefully it's only 20 minutes for them. appreciate the river on the road here. Runaway lane, that'd be a heck of a ride. Oh, I hear my fan belt squeaking. Too much driving in the river. There, it stopped again. Coming down at about 60 kilometers, 60, 70, kind of bouncing back and forth depending on how steep it is. See, traffic is pulling away from me here. Don't want to gain too much speed over here yet. There's another steeper section coming. It goes to 6% grade and then it goes steeper to 7% grade, so it's always tempting to speed up a bit on the 6% grade. There we go, there's a 7% grade sign. I guess they just let traffic through and then close it up right away again and then keep removing snow. Apparently the goal is 20 minutes, but it didn't work out for us. Well, here's the 6%, so there's a 7% after this 6%. Top of the hill starts at 8%. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. 8% goes to 7%, goes to 6% here, but then it switches back to 7% further down. Like 2 US loads. The size of the load, I'd say they're going to the US. I guess they'll cross the border in Eastport. I guess if you don't have a permit to cross here, you really only have, you got to go cross at Osoyoos or Eastport. Those are the two options if the company doesn't have permits to cross. So yeah, I guess they'll head to Eastport and cross there, depending on which way a load's headed, right? So if you're headed east in the US, you'll have to cross in Eastport. If you're headed west, you'll want to cross in Osoyoos. And if you want to go in the middle here somewhere, you got to decide which way is the shorter way. actually a 20-kilometer downgrade. So from the summit to the bottom is 20 kilometers. So you really want to make sure you don't use your brakes at the top, because if you need your brakes starting right at the top, you're going to be in a lot of trouble by the time you get to the bottom. Dragging your brakes for 20 kilometers, I'd say they're probably going to be overheated. I know there's guys that do, they drag their brakes the whole way, but it seems like a risky way of living. The best way to prevent a runaway is not using your brakes. There we go, it gets a lot less steep here. That radio down. So yeah, delivering this a good solid 45 minutes later than I had hoped. Like a 20-minute break would be nice. I was complaining, right, that they should do 30 minutes, so I guess I got my wish. So careful what you wish for. But I went off duty, went for a walk, talked to a couple of the people, doing the cross-country skiing thing. There's restrooms up there. Had lunch. So it was relaxing. Now, the nice thing is I didn't have to stay anywhere near the truck, because the long line of cars is going to be moving long before semis get moving. So even though I'm on the front of the line, I can be pretty far away from the truck. And get to the truck before that line finishes and I can get moving. It's always a nice thing, knowing you're not going to be the first line moving. Even though I was at the front of the semi line, we don't want all these cars behind us. I've got, I think, only one semi that kind of stayed with me all the way down. The other two semis have fallen back. And depends on what engines they're running, right? I got this Cummins that is just awesome at the engine brakes. Just absolutely awesome at the engine brakes. I can come down faster than, well, for a fact, faster than the PACCAR engine, because I've had personal experience with those engines. Man, I hope these blue skies stick around all week long, all weekend long. I know it gets a little cooler with a lot of blue sky because the warm air just goes straight up, but I don't mind. The sun feels good. Piece of tire on the road, just one chunk of tread. So I don't know if just the tread is slowly peeling off, or if they've got a blowout and the whole tire is going to be. Will we see more chunks of tire down the road? So here we gear up to full speed limit now, and last summer, I guess what happened was the trucker thought he was done with the mountain and didn't realize there was a slow corner here and didn't make this corner. Took the corner at full speed and ended up in the river, and unfortunately passed away. I think that's where now I've been driving for 2.5 years. I'm feeling pretty competent in driving. I just have to make sure I don't get overconfident and don't make stupid mistakes because I'm just relaxing too much. All of a sudden I think I know what I'm doing. Basically from now till the rest of my driving career, it's going to be one of those don't get overconfident, because rookies make mistakes. Rookies make a lot of mistakes, but so do veterans. Veterans make a lot of mistakes too, so just because I know what I'm doing now doesn't mean I've got to stop paying attention. Still have to plan for every corner. Don't need one of these, oh yeah, watch this type of moment. Show you how it's done. Yeah, those usually don't work out so well. So I'll be getting in the yard right around the time that they get a train. So I don't know if they get a train on Wednesdays. I think they do. So I may have to wait for a train to be shuffled around before I get unloaded. Now that we're down here on the straightaway, I'm losing the other truck too. That is strange. Doing dead on speed limit. 100. GPS flashes between 100 and 101, so I let it go to 102 before. I like to keep it between 100 and 102. Well, the speed limit plus or minus 2. Because as you go up and down hills, it fluctuates a bit. And I find if I don't let it go higher than 2, if all of a sudden there's a little bit of a steeper hill, the cruise control holds the truck back enough that I don't end up speeding a lot. Excuse me. This corner's got the arrow sign, which means the suggested speed is 90 kilometers per hour. And honestly, when you got a load that's 3 tiers high like mine, you want to follow those suggested speeds to the dot. Airport Road. I never think of Salmo having an airport, but I guess they have a small airport. Salmo River. Yeah, I feel that this winter is a lot less snow, but it feels like a warmer winter. I guess the cold could still come, but we haven't got a lot of very cold temperatures yet. Yes, get off the rumble strips. Well, if you look at the path that everybody else has traveled, everybody else hits those same rumble strips. The road just has these weird curves that kind of naturally force the vehicle over the line. And I kind of let the truck go where it wants to go. Never make any quick movements trying to correct where it wants to go. Wants to go across the white line. We got a nice wide shoulder here, so let it go across the white line. As long as it doesn't want to cross the yellow line. So I did end up getting fuel yesterday evening in Creston. That worked out pretty good. Went to the grocery store. Bought... What did I buy? Some sweet and sour chicken frozen meal that I'll throw in the toaster oven and warm up maybe tonight. I also bought some brownies, some chips, some root beer. And I'm trying not to eat all of that. Probably shouldn't have bought it, but but I want to go down to 60 right away. Keep slowing down. There we go, 60. Salmo to the right of us, really. I mean, there's a little bit to the left as well, but most of Salmo's to our right. Nice little town. And then this is a slight uphill and takes forever to get back up to speed. If the load is heavy as mine, we're pretty much maxed out again. It's close. My drives are maxed out. My bridge had probably about 2 psi left, give or take. And then the rear was all the way maxed out too, so. What do we got going on here? We're at 80. Sutco, join our team. There's a phone number and email address on that billboard. If you're interested, let them know I sent you. If you use my name and I get a bonus because of it, I'll give you half of it. We've slowed down to 80. I'm still have my foot all the way down. It's an Erie Creek. Does that mean there's a Lake Erie somewhere here? That'd be pretty cool. Used to live on Lake Erie in Ontario. One of the Great Lakes. Not sure what's with all these vehicles on the shoulder. There we go. Slight downhill. We'll get up to speed here. Of course, it drops down to 90 here almost right away, but whatever. think this video is over an hour again, so I think I'll leave it. Was that a Sutco truck? I think that was a Sutco truck. Sutco pickup, I mean. So, likely, I will, if all goes right, I'll probably, I haven't got the dispatch yet, but I think I'll probably get reloaded here in Fruitvale and make it to Kamloops tonight still. So tomorrow video we should be leaving Kamloops somewhere. Maybe I'll be loading Adams Lake again. Or maybe I'll be loading in Vernon, a US run down to Katera. We shall see. So thank you guys for subscribing. You guys absolutely rock. I appreciate all those comments. Every day I get comments. Some videos I get 2 or 3 comments. Other videos I get like 20 comments, which is just fantastic. Love it. And I'll see you tomorrow. God bless.